Alrighty. So, welcome to Wrath of the Wyvern, Sons of Rivesk by Lion Banner Games. It's a Kickstarter game. You could pick up a physical edition or the digital edition. Of course, the digital edition is a little cheaper, although you have to print out and pay for your products later. And I printed off the cards this morning. Um, they're pretty good high quality. I mean, I enjoy the feel of it. I enjoy the aesthetic and the looks. It's hard to really show everything. Um, Let me see if I can show it through the tabletop manager here. So we've got, I don't know if this will display correctly. So here's a list of all of the cards of the in the basic deck. And then I've got a combat hand. So let's just do, wait, player deck. I know that you're supposed to draw the correct amount of cards based on how you play, but because of how this tabletop simulator was set up, there's not a pre-made, preset for this game yet because it's brand new. So I had to use a very generic system and basically throw all the aspects in, the assets, I'm sorry, and then kind of partially code them in the funkiest way using the assets and resources I had available. So I'm going to pull from this deck, and I'm just going to use the deck portion of this VTT to kind of store the cards digitally so I can bring them up as I play. I'm going to be predominantly using these physical aspects, although the map and the journal is what I'm really using the virtual tabletop simulator for. That way, it's easier to see where I'm moving. I can kind of go through the story a little, efficiently. Yeah. So this game is pretty cool because it's very like minimal. In all honesty, you only have to have the map open and like your character sheet and enough room to play your cards, and then just as you need to switch your character sheets, there's a couple of different sheets. Like this one is specifically your stats. This tracks your health, your courage, strength, stamina, what type of equipment, your main tune, your arcane powers, your wyvern clues, wyvern clues. I'm sorry. I pronounce that word wyvern. That's how I've always pronounced it for a very long time. It was never corrected until some point late in my adulthood, and that word's just sticks. So if you hear me call them wyverns, please, I'm sorry. It's forgive me. So yeah, main character sheet, and then this is your inventory, and then we have your unlocks as you play the game. You find things and you upgrade things. So you'll mark it off as you find them and upgrade them. And then lastly, a quest tracker to mark every time you've completed a hex or where you've left off. Mainly be using these two for the most part. Um, you don't start using these until a little bit in, as you start collecting more and more things. A majority of what you can kind of gather at the beginning is mainly here. Um, so the general gist of the game is that your great, or sorry, not your great grandfather, your grandfather, Ulu Begoth, and I might be mispronouncing that name. I'm sorry, it is Scottish, and I'm not any kind of versed in that. Um, but your grandfather was a badass. He killed a few wyverns in his day, and I mean, killed the last of them that was created through witchcraft and sorcery. Um, he went on this journey with a squire named Tavish and managed to slay the dragon. However, Ulu, your grandfather, um, took a mortal blow. So that ended his journey, unfortunately. Um, but unfortunately, he did not kill the last wyvern. There were a few eggs left unhatched that managed to hatch and spread across the map. And so now it is your time has come to chase them down and kill them. Um, so yeah, I guess let's go ahead and bring up. I feel like the volume is really loud, so hold on, let me fix that. I'm gonna pull those out 12. Nope, that didn't do it right. Fix that real quick, just so that way I can have those preloaded. Raw. How do I get this to? Hello? Why is this not working? There we go. Uh-oh. Why is it not letting me scroll up? Oh, that's a shame. I am sorry, guys. I tried my best to code all of this. It took a long time to get just the first, like, 20 quests and, like, the basic cards, which is your essential deck. You have 12 cards that are your basic cards. You start off with these cards, and these give you actions to do in combat. And I also programmed a few ally and additional cards that you unlock, but only a few of them. Just the ones that were in the first, like, immediate little bubble right there. All right. So I guess not. I'm gonna slide over here. Oh my gosh, it is lagging. Okay. Over here. I get confused on how to navigate my screens because in orientation it's left to right, but the way I'm looking at it, it's top to bottom. Okay. So let me bring this a little more centered. Sorry, I was trying to upload some of these text actions, which would be very useful resources to use on the map, so I wouldn't get confused or lost. Like, what do I do here? Oh my gosh, what am I looking for? Create your hero. That's what I'm looking for. And also, because I feel like the music's a little too loud. Hard to say. We'll do it like that, and then no, because that's gonna cut it by too much. Okay. Sorry guys, it just feels very loud in my head. I can't really concentrate. So here we go. That's easier if I keep it here. Oh my gosh. Where did it go? Oh. Alrighty. So let's create a character. Yay! Let's start by reading the flavor text. To live and die a hero. To venture into the unknown and face the darkness despite fear makes us courageous. Lacking fear leads to madness and recklessness in the face of violence and certain death. Fear keeps us grounded and teaches us the balance between life's weight and worth. You are set on a quest to discover your birthplace and homeland, a perilous journey to free the land from the terrible threat of the Wyverns. Deep within you lies forgotten memories, but like a flower in spring, they will bloom and reveal themselves as we venture across the Overworld Highlands. Alrighty, so let's see. Oh, I think I went too far. Oh, I guess I needed to go a little further. That's just a picture. audio is low. I am sorry. Hold on. Let's fix that. Okay. Is this better? Hopefully it is. Why is this taking so long? I don't know if it's just the room mic. Like, it feels very, very loud in here. Oh, wait, I know what it is. I was trying to figure out, like, I had an echo issue, and so I, like, turned down some of the volume. Okay. Alrighty. I did go a little too fast. All right. So forging your legend. So first we got to come up with a name. I was thinking about some names earlier and did a little bit of minor research. So I could either go with Irish Gaelic or Scottish Gaelic. And so what I was thinking was the beautiful stranger, because why not? And so Scottish is Cégrach Braya, which I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not, so forgive me. And there's also an Irish, which is Stranshire Olin, which I feel sounds a little more feminine. So I am feeling the Irish name. What do y'all think? Okay. I'll go ahead and stick with the Irish name. That was a weird looking name, so forgive me for the spelling on this. This over here. Strain. Stranzaline. Oh, it's over here. Every time, top down. It is so laggy. Oh wait, I gotta go to the text editor. That's the one little annoyance, is having to switch to some of these tabs. Also, I apologize ahead of time. I set all of this up as a GM. And the way that this tabletop simulator works is that you can set certain things up so that they work correctly for the players. But as a GM playing it, I don't experience it that way. And so for the most part, that will be like when I'm playing certain quests where there's supposed to be some information that's hidden until it's revealed. It's visible, although there's a button that says reveal right next to it. So once I click it, then the players would see it. But since there's no way for me to simultaneously GM and play it, there are some workarounds, but I feel like it'll be a little too intensive for my setup and even for myself to keep up with. So I'm gonna just do everything through GM, and so yeah. So Strine. The beautiful stranger. All right. Okay. What's the next step here? My attributes. Okay, I'm sorry. It was Uru, not Ulu. I guess my English was sticking out there. You are the descendant of Uru Balayath, the last member of the Order of Skyfire. It will be up to you to pick up the pieces and rebuild the ancient order and its locations. Only then will you be able to combat the Wyvern threat plaguing the Highlands. You start with 6 hero points to distribute. Each attribute begins at 0, and each hero point you assign increases the base by +1. I may not assign more than 2 at character creation, so that's a pretty straightforward one. So this isn't like a straightforward D&D type thing. A majority of your stats affect how many cards you draw. And in certain situations, they'll tell you use that stat to determine how many cards you draw. And so typically you'll draw from either your Fate deck, which is 6 cards, or you'll draw from your Battle deck. And that number varies depending on a couple of your stats that are added together. I think for now, I want some stamina, because I know that stamina is tied to your health as well as your movement points. And so that's very helpful for getting around the map, and also for not getting your ass handed to you in this game. The next one I'm going to do is strength, because that increases your damage. I want to be courageous as 2. So that's 3 points. I got... I want to increase my stamina one more time. Let's make sure I don't die so early. And then, so that's 4. Let's go ahead and put one in fortitude. 5. You know what? Let's go ahead and put in strength. Okay. Oh, wait. I gotta drag it this way. And because I have a lineage bonus, Skyfire lineage. As a descendant of Urubaliah, you can add 1 free point to either courage or fortitude. Those are both at 1. So I am feeling a little more fortitude since it's on the bottom of the stat page. So my stats will look something like this. Nope. How do I think it's this one. Why are you not working? Is it because that's probably because it's default is white? This is going to make it a little difficult. Oh, fun. This is going to be very fun. Hello? Oh, goodness, for real? Okay, I don't want to mess with that too much, so I apologize. I will fix this some point between streams. Let's just move on. So, final stats are Courage 1, Strength 2, Stamina 2, Wisdom 0, Fortitude 0. Okay. Do I have to add some of these? I know I have to add these later. I just don't know at what point will it tell me to. Okay. It's like I roll it once and it goes slowly and then it like slingshots. Okay, so we're going to draw some cards to determine a couple of these different origins for my character. So this is where we're going to use the fate cards. And again, there's 6 cards. And they are directly tied to some of your stats. So let's start with our birth omen. The day of your birth was marked by an auspicious omen. For many, it signaled a dark time to come. However, for your family, it symbolized the importance of your birth, and that destiny had plans in store for you. Is there any more text up there? Nope. Okay, so let's go down. So this first... kind of. We got some of it. All right, so let us draw... I got the Triquetra, the lightning storm. So let's see what this spells for me. Grim clouds consumed the sky, roaring as they pummeled the land with lightning. During your birth, one strike landed near the hut, incinerating an ancient tree. Birth omen was lightning storm. Oh, wait. Oh, let go. Okay, and so it gave me a -1 on wisdom, but you're not supposed to go below 0. So we'll hold on to that. If I have any benefits, they'll cancel each other out. Otherwise, when I start this game, it's going to be at 0. Now, after you draw a fate card, you've got to shuffle your deck again, each and every time. And you use this deck a lot, so it's going to get shuffled a lot. That's my only concern about this, is the frequency of use of this particular deck is going to lead to the cards getting frayed more quickly than the rest of them. So as far as longevity goes, I'm more worried about these cards getting out on me. Okay, so now we can do the next step. Fear as a child. You were raised in the heart of the Highlands. Sorry about that. You were raised in the heart of the Highlands, and at night you would hear tales about the fire from your father and other community members. They spoke of beasts and creatures lurking in the darkness. These tales left a lasting impression on your young mind. Whenever you encounter these creatures, your lingering fear causes you to take a -1 defense battling them. So, let's see what type of creatures we are most afraid of. The Daranot, which are knights. Oh my goodness, I'm scared of knights. I got these guards that are got me shaking in my bootstraps. Okay. I'm just going to put that there as a reminder. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make that up in parentheses. Just as a reminder. extend it. Ta-da! Fixed it. Alright, now I gotta scroll back up to get motivation to fight. So, motivation to fight. To raise your steel and enter combat with an adversary sparks a fire within you. Fighting is in your soul. You embody your people, a Highlander who fights for his land, home, and honor. But there is something more that drives you forward. It is an overwhelming feeling that one cannot suppress, only embrace. All right, I drew this card. Those are my basic cards, so let's go back to the fake cards. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. L, redemption. The pain of our past can consume us and drag us into darkness. You will find redemption through finding purpose in helping others and bringing light to the darkest places. I gain +1 fury at the start of combat. Let's go here. Maybe that's why I'm afraid of nights. I did something bad, and anytime I get around, I'm like, oh shit, I hope they don't remember that one illegal thing I did, like back when I was younger. I murdered someone in a duel. That's probably what happened. I mean, it is what happened. I mean, that's right. This canon is our own canon, right? This is an adventure. We gotta come up with a story for our character. Okay, so redemption, and then +1 fury first round. I don't know what happened to the bubble. Oh yeah, that font size is a little too high. That's a little better, although I kind of want to fix it just a tiny bit. I'll give it one more little, bring that down to there. A little better. No, I'm gonna fix it. I'm sorry, guys. I have to make sure that this looks a little perfect. Aha, there we go. Okay, carrying on. So we did our motivation to fight, and now we're doing 3, 4. Why we left our homeland. The Overworld Highlands witnessed your birth, your first steps, and your first grip of a sword. The wind caressed your hair, and the rain blessed you from the overcast skies. There was a time when the known world did not exist for you. It was only gossip, tavern chatter, and dreams of the darkest nights. You left your family and the place you call home. The question still lingers, and some do not fully understand them. Only you know why. So why did we leave our homeland? Now, this only gives you 2 choices. So there's not a whole lot of outcomes you have to really worry about. The Wheel of Tyrannos. I was exiled. The constant squabbles and battles between clans left your own in a weakened state. With Clan Moore and Thorfinn's ever-growing power, you were exiled. You were deemed an outcast and sentenced to leave your homeland. And I start the campaign with 3 rations. So let's track that. And, oh yeah, I need to put that in. Motivation, redemption. That's something I gotta remember is I am keeping track of everything on 2 different facets. And then homeland. Why did I have my homeland? I was exiled. And then I gotta put that here. Okay. Carrying on. And then the last should be our amulet. Whoops. What is your amulet? You left your homeland in pursuit of a future you never wanted. Now, all that remains are the memories buried deep within you and an amulet. A fragment of the life you once knew. You clung to the amulet in your darkest moments, finding solace amidst the turmoil within your tormented soul. Oh, a little too far here. The Daranot, which is the father's dirk. Shuffle these while I'm reading. Oh shit. God, I hate some of the little things that pop up sometimes on this computer. This dagger once belonged to your father. It served him faithfully in battle and daily life, from skinning to cutting. Fragmented memories linger of him, working silently. His actions teach you lessons without words. With this dirk in hand, you uncover a well of unforgiving courage within your soul. Once per battle, your first melee attack deals +1 damage. Good. +1 damage. Okay. One of the last choices. Profession. Did you seek money, fame, or glory in the known world? Whatever your intentions, you gain skills and experience in combat, traveling, and other areas. These define the essence of your expertise and grant your skills and bonuses in combat. And travel. Below, you will select the skills that will grant you boons and advantages as you venture across the Umbral Highlands. So, once again, fate card. Triskelion. Oh, no, sorry. That's Triketra. Bounty Hunter. Ooh, that sounds fun. Alrighty, so let's see here. Tracking down fugitives of the law has forced you to venture into the starkest and most brutal locations. You have meddled with criminals and killers and found that the darkness is where you feel at ease. You've become an expert at navigating rugged landscapes and tracking people and locations. I gain +1 to wisdom saves. I'm not sure where to track that. 1 second. Maybe in the inventory. Nope. Not really sure where to track that. Okay. Let's move on. Oh, actually, I gotta put this in here, don't I? Gotta fix this first. definitely going to need to go down. Nope, gotta fix that. I might have moved as much. Well, let's see. I will be right back. Let me fix or turn on my fan because it's kind of getting warm in here now. Okay. Bounty hunter. And then what's next? Equipping your legend. Okay, so we get our trusted sword is the first weapon. So that's where we use these. All right, so unlike your battle cards, your fate cards, your injury cards, and your ally cards and all that, your weapon cards don't get shuffled into your deck. So I didn't put a back on it, so that way I didn't get confused. They are double-sided, as they do have a second weapon that you can find later on. The game lets you equip only one weapon at a time. You can equip one weapon, one armor, one shield, and you can bring traps, although you can only use one per combat. But I think it's like 3 or 6, I can't remember the exact count. But I start with the trusted sword. So it requires 1 strength, which we have 2, so we can use it. It deals 3 damage, and if I ever drop below half health, I deal +1 more damage. All right. So I'll put that in here in a bit once I start doing these number crunchings. So starting health, I start with 12 plus stamina plus fortitude. So I have 2 stamina and 2 fortitude. So that gives me 4 plus 12, or 16. So come back here. So 16. And 16. I tried to keep a little bit of a contrast here. I wanted to go with red because I felt like red was a good color for this. There's a lot of reds and oranges in the art, so I wanted to kind of invoke that. And then I'll just keep the health, the max health, green, because I mean, health is normally associated with green. I gotta fix my rations. I went ahead and put the maximum just to remind me. Oh wait, I hit a button. I'm not trying to give myself too much. I just want to be able to track how much I have. Okay. There was something else I needed to... Trusted sword. Okay. Moving on. Fury points. So your Fury points is like your stamina, your combat pool. The more Fury points you have, the more cards you can play. You can play as many cards in a turn as you have the Fury points for. Your Fury points are... your Fury also determines how many cards you draw as well. So it's a very good stat to kind of work on. Fury kind of matches along with your health because it uses stamina and fortitude anyways. Although I feel like it should have been like, I don't know, stamina and strength. I don't know. Anyways, 2 stamina, 2 fortitude. So that puts me at 4. So write it down. Fury points is 4. What else am I looking at? Not much else. Let's go ahead and change this number. Update. 4 Fury points. Okay. There we go. We do have a mount, but I will get to the mount here in a bit. You've got tunes. I'm not going to worry about looking at them yet because you do technically have your Clarsock, or however it's pronounced, Clarsock, the harp. You have it on you at the start, but you don't know any tunes yet. You have to discover them as you play. Okay, so it says I am ready. So it tells you to start with Echoes of the Highland. But I want to go to the combat tutorial because I feel like it's a good little not tutorial. I mean, it is a tutorial, but it's a good little. It has some story and kind of introduces you to your father. So stand and face me tutorial. There is some flavor text. I'm just gonna kind of put the combat on the screen and briefly explain it, but I won't run through the whole thing. I'm just gonna read the flavor text towards the later half. Just gotta wait for it to finish loading, and then we can get started. I can kind of demonstrate some of the battle cards. Movement points are equal to stamina plus 1. So I'm going to go ahead and change that while I'm waiting for the other thing to load. So 1 plus stamina, so 3. So I can move up to 3 hexes, which is useful. You don't use, so movement points, or MP, is used for moving around the map as well as interacting with the spaces that you're on. So you do have to keep that in mind, so you don't run out. Like if you just like use all of your stamina and run across the map, then you'll get there and all you'll be able to do is sleep. And I mean, yeah, that helps. But there's sometimes some special things you can do. Like you can explore ruins, you can gather materials, talk to some of the people that are there, undergo a quest. A lot of it's tile based, so it depends on where you're located. So 3 movement points is pretty good. I could basically move 1 or 2 spaces and then hold on to that 3rd movement point in case I want to do any special actions wherever I find myself. So back here, stand and face me. When you think about your father, you cannot see his face or features. You only see a large, looming shadow. This does not fill you with fear, but with respect. Your few memories include the time he taught you how to fight outside your cottage. It was a warm summer's day with a clear sky, a rare occurrence in the Highlands. He knew that you would need to learn the art of war to survive in this world. He taught firmly, not with anger or cruelty, but in the quiet kindness of someone who knows you need to survive. Your father speaks. Draw steel, not to win or to wound, but to understand. Power flows from your heart, and steel is its expression. With a sword in your hand, you are the wielder of both life and death. He places the short sword in your grip, which you can barely hold as the weight tips you forward. Fury is the fire that rages inside you. Every breath you take in battle is a choice. Today, we shall keep it simple. Sword and breath. Do not be afraid. Embrace the fear. All right. It kind of matches my character. I got 4 fury points. So our father has health, or 5 health and 1 defense. You will not strike first. You can now begin this lesson. Round 1. He waits. I won't move. I want to see how you breathe and how you attack. Pace yourself. Draw 4 cards. We've got Dirk, wherever it is. Dirk, brace yourself, battle cry. Brace yourself, battle cry, and counter. Right, so I got those 4 cards. All right. So we play Battle Cry and scream, Albago Breath! +1 strength this round. Strength adds +1 melee to your attack. And I lash out with my dirk. Which I guess is my father's dirk. I deal 2 damage. If you are wielding a one-handed weapon, draw 1 card. So we'll draw 1 card, which it says to draw Punch. I know I'm supposed to have this randomized, but it's telling me to use very specific ones. Four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I am missing a card. Oh, that's not good. Hold on 1 second, guys. I am sorry. I'm gonna find Punch. Well, I have no idea where it went. There it is. I see it. Oh, dang, it went really far. I had these cards fall earlier because I had a blanket over my arm and I had reached over to type something on the keyboard and I didn't realize the blanket had went over it. So yeah, here we go. Okay. All right, so let's see. We did Battle Cry, which adds +1 damage. Deal 2 damage. And then draw a card. So that's 3 damage there. He has 1 defense. So I do 2 damage total. So he drops from 5 to 3. And then I will strike with Punch, which deals 1 damage or reduces target's defense by 1. But he blocks it completely. This teaches you that timing your attacks is key. Some cards are best held back or used to trigger effects. You play Brace Yourself. So maybe I'll put these in like a sort of a discard. Brace Yourself. I gain 1 defense and counter. So if I take damage, I will deal 2 automatically back. So, with all of these cards that I've played, all of my attack actions that I did earlier were 0. Actually, hold on. 0, 1, 0. So that's, 1 fury point. I would have had 3 left. And then when I did the second round for the defensive actions, playing Brace Myself and Counter, those each took 1 fury. So that brings me down to 1 fury point left. You don't carry them over, so it's best to use them all if you can. Granted, strategize. Don't just go and blow all your cards and run out of cards to defend yourself. You want to keep some in case you got some enemies, baddies that might attack you, and then you can be like, wait, nope. That's a nope. Okay, round 2. He glances at you while keeping his enormous grip steady on his blade. He draws a fate card. Oh, that is one thing. So normally, um, when you do battle, you draw fate cards to determine initiative, as well as when it's the enemy's turns, you draw one more fate card for the whole group, for the whole battle, for the enemies. And if that fate card matches any of their symbols, they do a special attack. It tells me to draw a fate card, the Wheel of Tyrannus, which triggers a slash damage or slash attack. But I don't actually have his behavior card to see that. So I have to go with what the tutorial tells me. Enemy attacks are triggered by fate cards, so watch out for them. Learn their symbols as these foreshadow what is to come. His attack deals 2 damage. I block 1 damage because of brace myself, so I only take 1 damage. But I had a counter, so he takes 2 damage. And so I am brought down to 3 health. But after the counter, he's got only 1 health remaining. He grunts, acknowledging your precision. And now that it's the end of the round, all the cards get removed. So then we come back to round 3, which is the player turn. So we have 4 fury points, so 4 cards. So we can draw Bloodlust, Recovery, Dash, and Momentum. Okay. So it tells me to play Momentum, which draws 1 card. If it's an attack, play it immediately for 0. So, what? I don't understand why I'm drawing 2 cards. Okay. Well, it tells me to draw Rage and Second Wind. And this is, if you have any Strain or Brood, gain 2 on your next attack. Or Second Wind, recovers 2 health. We have spent 1 Fury point on Momentum, so we have 3 left. We can play Weapon Attack. So your weapon has an attack. You can play it once, which deals 3 damage. So his health is 3 minus. Oh, sorry. The damage is 3. His defense is 1, so he takes 2 damage. So he now has 0 health. He drops 1 to 1 knee and chuckles. His lessons. During that summer, he taught you all that he knows of war and life. That was until he was slain in a clan feud. Though he is gone, his memory and the lessons he taught you remain deeply ingrained with you. Okay. With that, now we can actually begin like the official tutorial story quest thing. Okay, let's go ahead and change the music here. Oh crap! What did I do? It like glitched. Oh my gosh, that is really loud. I am sorry, guys. Okay. So now we're not quite in the Highlands yet. So let's go to over here. Echoes of the Highland. And so this is where I was saying earlier, um, there are some things that may or may not be hidden, so bear with me. Hold on, I gotta fix the window on my other screen. Ha, good. All right. You are hunched next to a brazier on the ship's open deck. Your only companions are your sword on your back and a cup of hot water warming your hands. You are returning to your homeland. You feel a sense of longing for something you once experienced. It's a memory of happiness that flickers like a thought in your mind. The night is cold, but you do not wish to rest with the other travelers below deck. Being in the open, under the stars, puts you at ease. This has always been your connection to the Highlands. No matter where you were, you could gaze up at the same cosmos and watch the same stars you saw from your homeland when you were young. Lost in the thoughts of a bygone life, you watch the flames flicker from the brazier. You exit your cottage and are greeted with the sun's overpowering glare, a rarity in the gloomy Highlands. The initial glow fades, and you raise your chin and set your eyes upon the peak of Crag Atair. It casts a shadow over part of your family's settlement. You are no longer on the ship. You are back in the Highlands, but not as the person you are today. You are back in your younger years. Must be some kind of vision, like a dream or something. Your younger but more daring cousins, Rory and Ailsa, appear behind you. They do not live far from your home and are always around, ready for an adventure. I challenge you both to a race to the top of the crag. The last one to reach the top will clean chamber pots for a week, mocks Rory as he races up the crag, followed by Ailsa. They laugh as they leave you trailing behind. Excuse me. Before you continue, a raven croaks as it perches itself above the entrance to your cottage. You study the creature, and it peers back at you. In your mind, you hear the voice of several women speaking in unison. Forge your destiny, Highlander. You quickly shift your gaze to your cousins and begin to run. Reach the summit of the crag before Rory and Elsa. Okay, so when it comes to making saves, you'll normally draw one fate card in addition to extra fate cards. Hold on. Let me make sure these. Okay, I need that one. These are the rest of the battle cards. I'm just resetting my decks, so I'm ready for the next encounter whenever it happens. But you'll use your fate card to make saves. So you'll draw one plus one for every 2 stat points. I think you can draw up to 3 at 6. So it's 1 and 2 gets you +1, 3 and 4 gets you +2, 5 and 6 gets you +3, if I remember. Actually, I'm going to double check that. Let me just pull it up on here because I feel like it loads a little faster on my phone than me trying to look for something on the computer while it's running all these programs. Saves. Yeah, attribute points is 1 or 2. You draw 1 extra card. So this particular one is telling us it is a stamina save. Since I have 2 stamina points, that means I draw 2 fate cards. So, dupe and dupe. Okay. I don't remember all the symbols. I wish they had the names on the cards. I will eventually learn them. There's like a chart that tells you what each one represents. Because they're tied to your stats. But I'm not finding it. Ah, here we go. So I did his stamina, which is Triskelion. So I got the Dara knot and the Triquetra, which is wisdom and unaligned. So because of that, I did not get the Triskelion, which is what I need for a successful stamina save. So that means that I failed. So go to failure. I slip and bruise my hands. I gain 1 strain point. I'm losing things. And I can't even track that on the other sheet. Oh, this doesn't let me. It's like cutting it off down here. Partially. So you slip and bruise your hands. Finally, you reach your cousins. You could start with my chamber pot, mocks Ailsa as you laugh at the thought. The trial. Son of a gun, why does it do that? At the summit, you pause. You gaze at the beautiful landscape below and see your cottage bathed in the sunlight. Suddenly, the scene shifts. A cold breeze sets in, the sky darkens, and great clouds cast shadows over you. You are interrupted by a rustling of the nearby bushes. You remember an old hunter once taught you how to track animals. Read the land like a story, and it shall guide you to its rewards, were his words. You spot the trail of a wounded boar. The trail of blood leads beyond the bushes. A wounded beast is more dangerous because it sees anyone approaching as a threat. We'd best head down, says Rory. Make a wisdom save. Alrighty, so shuffling my cards. Pulling this back up as well, because I'm going to need this. Hopefully I don't have to look at this too long. Maybe by the end of this session I'll have the symbols figured out. I should have studied them a little more, but there was a lot of rules. I mean, like, I spent the entire week reading the book. Like 2 days reading the book, the first 2 days, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I literally spent like 8 hours each day coding all of this, at least just to get the first few quests in. Okay, so wisdom save. I do not have any wisdom points, so I can only draw 1 card, which is the Wheel of Tyrannus, which I know for sure is strength. So I failed that. So let's see what happened. And like I said, you could see the success, but let's ignore that text. We're going to the failure. Leftovers. You lose track of the boar, but find a shrub of wild berries. I gain 1 ration. It's all for the best we didn't find the boar, but these berries will suffice, says Rory. Look at all the blood left behind. Who or what injured it that badly? Isla asked. Alrighty. We'll do next there. I need to update this real quick. Update drawing. And then make sure I update this too. Okay, back to the quest. You feel a spine-chilling sensation as you descend for the crag. Suddenly, you hear a deep growl. You turn around and see an imposing umber wolf behind you. These wolves are usually found in packs, but this one is on its own. Its body is covered with cuts from its battle with the wild boar. The wolf charges towards you, snarling. Its intimidating frame draws closer. Elsa, run! Rory screams, but Elsie remains frozen in fear. It's time to stand and face the beast. You quickly pull out your dirk, father's dirk, and jump between Elsa and the wolf. Okay, encounter time. Woohoo! The encounter is with a wounded umbral wolf. So a wounded umbral wolf has 5 health, 0 defense, and deals 1 point of damage when the Wheel of Tyrannus or A1 is drawn during its activation. So that means it doesn't do anything if I don't draw any of those. So we have 4 Fury points. Let me make sure this deck is shuffled. I'll turn that off real quick. Okay. So draw cards for your initial starter deck equal to your Fury points. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's keep them like this. I'm trying to find like the best way. Okay, so I've got Second Wind, Momentum, Arcane Power, and Recovery. Which I don't have any Arcane Power, so it's kind of a useless card. Okay. Enemies act based on face card symbols. The Wounded Umbral Wolf attacks if the Wheel of Tyrannus or A1 is drawn. Draw a fate card for you and for the wolf to determine initiative. Check the initiative table to verify who strikes first in combat. Okay, so I'm drawing a Triquetra, and they're drawing Elm, which I believe Elm is the bottommost symbol. I'm so sorry. Gotta find the little thing that tells me the turnovers. I made it to 1. Where is that? I can't seem to find it. I saved some of these, but I didn't get a chance to program everything in time. So there's a lot of reference stuff that I was like, oh, in hindsight, I probably should have programmed those first. Ah, here it is. I was right. Triquetra is 4, and Elm is 6. If you get closer to 1, you go first. So I get to go first. I have to shuffle these back into the Fate deck and go from there. Okay, so I go first with 4 Fury points. Arcane Power's kind of moot, so I'm going to put that down. I don't really need Second Wind either. Damn, I got all the defensive ones. So I'm going to play Momentum. So it draws to draw 1 card. Dang, I got like nothing. Okay, so 1 point. That's also moot. The only thing I can do is play Dash in preparation, which allows me to avoid 1 attack this round. If I'm successful, immediately recover 1 health. I guess that's avoid 1 damage this round is what I believe it's supposed to be. But I gain 1 strain. I guess I'm not going to add that strain yet. It should have been at the top if it was like you gained 1 strain and then do that. Okay, so I guess that's it. All I can do. So now it's time for the wolf. So if the wheel Tyrannus or A1. So I got the Dara knot. So that means no. Please go to the discard. Oh, I guess I could have played that. It's okay. Got 3 cards. Oh, shoot. Well, that's okay. Well, I guess I can do this. I'm going to play Arcane Power. I can mark an enemy. Your next attack against them this round ignores defense. So I'm going to play my weapon, Trusted Sword, to deal 3 damage. It ignores defense, which they have 0 defense, so it doesn't really matter. But 3 damage is good. So I'll put those there. And I will put counter so that if they attack, I can defend. And it'll kill them. And they got plus. Elm. And they attack on A1. So that's a no. Okay, so draw 2 more cards. All I can really do is deal 1 damage with punch. That's 4 damage total. I'm going to play Brace Yourself to gain 1 defense. But that's about all I can do. It's like these other cards are healing cards, so I can't really do anything with them. Triquetra, which is not Will Tyrannus or anyone. Or no, that was Triskelion, I'm sorry. Okay. That goes to my discard. Draw another 2 more cards. This doesn't help me. I'll just do Battle Cry and Rage. That way I can get rid of some cards and hopefully draw the next 2 cards. Okay. Enemy does Triskelion again. So. No activation. This wolf is just sitting there as I am pummeling him. Okay. Draw 2 more cards. These cards get discarded. They should have been discarded before I drew, but it's okay. I'm just going to go ahead and play Dirk. And that would deal the 2 damage and kill him. Yay! Combat is over. We've succeeded our first battle against the wolf that was already near death's door. Oh wait, that goes off to the side. Okay. Reveal. You catch your breath as the beast lies slain on the ground. Gain 2 hero points. There it is. Hero points. I got 2. Cool. Awesome. Back to the story. Elsa and Rory embrace you after the violent encounter. With enough excitement for one day, you all head down the crag as the sun begins to set. In your mind, you can still see the orange-hued sunset as you stand with Rory and Elsa beneath the crag of Thayer. The fire. You sit beside your mother in the cottage by the hearth that night. The flames flicker as the amber sparks rise. You remember how she would hum to the stars and tell tales of your ancestors who fought Wyverns, defying all odds. She's gone now, but the stars remain. You can perform up to two camp actions using rations. So each action provides special effects such as healing and all these other things. For this event only, each of the 3 available camping options costs 1 point, regardless of their normal camping costs. So normally, you would eat 1 ration to rest, and then you would use whatever MP movement points you have to use your actions here. So like we could do well rested, and then maybe stargazing to remove 1 brood, and then use it again to gain. Actually, I've got 0. I've only got 1 strain. So when I full heal, when I well rest, it will remove the strain and heal me, which I didn't take any damage, so it's not like a big deal. What am I doing? Push the wrong button there. So yeah, I guess I will stargaze. Can I only do each of the 3 available only costs 1 point regardless of the normal camping costs. So we're gonna stargaze, better move, or I mean I guess gain 2 hero points. So 2 hero points. Let's go for 3. We're gonna stargaze. Unless I have to do all 3. Let's just do all 3. We'll do all 3. That way I get +1 defense in the next combat. And then remove the strain. I'm going to do stargazing to gain a hero point, and then brood to gain a brood. And also hero points. 2 hero points. Ah, crap. I closed out of that. Oh, it just takes me right back there. Okay, good. So, put me at 4 hero points. Hero points are like your XP/currency, or your souls in Dark Souls. You use it to level up your character, and you can also use it to upgrade a couple of different facets in the game. Crafting, purchasing equipment, recruiting people, things like that. There's a couple of other things too. I kind of like took a gander. I'm like, oh, that's cool that you can use your hero points for that. And then I gained 1 brood. And then when you brood, you gain some benefits, but there are also some things when you gain enough that it gives you some detriments as well. Okay, so back to the quest. Now we can play or look at the epilogue. Fire, fury, death. The whispers of 3 women speak as one, echo in your mind. I will be watching you, Highlander. Destiny is a fickle beast, and you have much adversity to overcome. I am the Morrigan, and you shall be my champion. The shadow of a monstrous wyvern looms over you, and you reach for your sword. You awaken, and the dream sequence comes to an abrupt end. The fire in the brazier has reduced to embers, and your vision of the past evaporates. You are back on the deck of the ship. All that remains is darkness and the stars that guide you to a destiny yet to be revealed. What of Rory and Ailsa? They were inseparable as brother and sister. You wonder where they are now. Has the return of the Wyverns disrupted their lives? Only time will tell if they are as you remember them to be, and if they remember you as their cousin. You've not forgotten them. All right, so scroll a little too far here. If I brooded, begin with brood. If I start gaze, begin with 1 extra hero point. If you failed combat, begin with 1 strain point. So I guess I get these extras. So 1 brood point. So that puts me at what? 2, and then 2 more. So that puts me at 6. I got rid of the strain. And then since I technically rested, I guess. I'm going to presume we ate a ration. I'm going to, for solidarity's sake, I'm going to eat the ration. And then, of course, here is the art of you, Rory, Ailsa, and Kragathair. That's a 2. My ration just dropped down to 3. I will fix this. It's so much easier to just kind of not delete the whole thing. I don't want to necessarily delete the whole thing, but would be easier than having to click on it and accidentally erasing the 20. Hero points go up to 6. Okay. Just so I remember, it's temporary. +1 death temp. No, I'm going to do, since it's defense anyways. Temporary. Oh, it's going to look so tacky. Okay, whatever. I'm not even going to worry about it. Okay, so now we can begin the actual campaign. This is taking a while. There we go. Oh no! It was supposed to be hidden. Because I needed to click on the figure. And then voila! So you can see, I've got the map. I've got our hero. Let's zoom in a little bit more. So we can enjoy this fine detail here. So we start our campaign in the Overworld Highlands. At this very auspicious coast. Quest 1, the arrival. I was hoping I was going to be able to do a lot more content. I think I'm probably just going to do this quest, maybe the next one. Ouch. And then we'll call it a night, because I'm approaching almost 2 hours on my stream. I know I was kind of BSing around earlier. Okay. The arrival. You set sail from a distant port 3 weeks ago. The stormy weather and lice-infested companions had made for a miserable voyage. Deep down, bittersweet thoughts of your former life stir up emotions and memories you thought were long forgotten. This journey marks your return home. Land ahoy! Shouts the ship's bosun. Your focus is ahead, but the thick fog prevents you from seeing the land. As you get closer, the silhouette of the harbor comes into view. No one is in sight, which is unusual for a port during the day. Something is amiss here. Moor the ship and grab a cutlass. That's missing. Something is amiss here. Moor the ship and grab a cutlass, barks the captain. His shipmates promptly obey his command. The captain and his first mate step onto the wooden dock with their cutlasses. The captain turns, but before he could speak, the deathly silence is shattered by the whiz of an arrow that finds its target in the captain's skull. Another arrow flies through the fog. Save! Avoid the arrow. I need to fix this. I went and put all of the what save you needed. So that way you knew what card you were drawing. Stamina save, Triskelion. So I've got 2 stamina, so that's 2 cards. I got a Triskelion, so I saved. Yay! I dodged the arrow, and I gain a save token. Add a coin or token on your character sheet. I don't have any tokens. Actually, I do. Ta-da! I've got this. This is my token. It's a big-ass token. It's going to take up the whole fucking page. I'm going to put it right there. Oh, no, I'm already getting some, card messes. Oh, well. Okay, so save tokens allow you to redo the save. So if you fail a save, you can do another save. You just redraw. You have to reshuffle the deck, though, so you might draw some cards again that were the same cards you drew earlier. You can only hold on to 1 save token, though, so it's useful to use them often. Because you do kind of get them frequently. Ish. So you hear 2 men talking in a foreign tongue. They come into view. 2 broad warriors wielding large axes and shields. Their clothes drenched in blood. They are Norse scouts, and seeing you, they raise their shields and axes and clash them together, making aggressive sounds. Before the battle begins, you can make a tactical decision. Jump overboard and flank them, or grab a spear nearby and climb a nearby rope to gain advantage from above. Well, good. I'm really glad that you guys are liking it. Hold on, I'm going to switch back to the chat. I'm sorry I've been kind of ignoring it. I don't mean to. I'm trying to focus on this and make sure I'm pushing forward, so I apologize. Anyways, first major decision. Do we want to jump overboard, or do we want to grab the spear? Eventually, once I have more people in my stream, I'm sure it'll be a lot easier to have people in the chat kind of throwing stuff, and I can keep up with it. And make some of these decisions a little more quickly. But it's okay. I'll give it a few more moments. If I don't see any decisions in the chat, then I will go ahead and make a decision. Save. Not making a save just yet, but I'm sure I will have to make a save. So what are we thinking? Jumping overboard or grabbing that spear? Do we want to stabby stab shanky shake? Or do we want to bloop, bloop? Honestly, I'm kind of feeling the spear just because I'm more of a gal of action. You're saving a spear. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're gonna save the spear. That's what we're gonna do. Grab a spear nearby and climbing a nearby rope to gain advantage from above. Make a strength save. So I've got 2 strength. 1 plus 1 for strength. So let's see what we got. None of those were the Wheel of Taramis. Shucks. You lose your grip on the rope and fall. I lose 1 health. And the Norse lookouts attack first in the encounter. So that's a shame. 15. Oh no, is this going to be really slow when I switch back to the character sheet? Where is it? There it is. Okay, that one was a little faster. Oh, darn it. Every time. I have to remember. Oh, but that means when I switch back to the character select, it's going to have the map revealed. Oh well. I wish there was a little more... I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Not simplicity. But this is a very complex endeavor for the simplistic nature of this game. Oh wait, I clicked on that. I need to click on the map and then click on him. Don't look at the map! Here we go! We're back here! Yay! Alright. Norse Scouts. Times 1 or times 2. Since we didn't... So there... It's going to be 2. Because it's only 1 if we had picked the right choices and stuff. So we're going to use this stat block. So we're going to start by drawing our fate cards again to determine initiative order. And this one's A1, which is 3. That's me. And then they got Wheel of Taramis. Oh, wait, no, that's right. They attack first anyways. Let's redraw. For solidarity's sake. So now we need to figure out what they're going to do. So. They will, how combat and the enemies work is you look at their little card here, and they have these symbols. So up here it says basic attack, which means there's no symbols attached to this. This is just what they do if the symbols that they need don't pop up. Then you look down here, which shows you 2 symbols. If we get these 2 symbols, they do this attack, and we just basically follow this. And then if we get this symbol, then we follow this for their action. And each enemy does an attack. And I don't have to draw for each one. I only have to draw 1 for the entire group of enemies. And they just activate in whatever order. And, I can decide. So that's a good thing there. So let me get my battle deck ready. Okay. So they got a plus, and I don't have any of these. So they didn't do anything other than their basic attack. Hold on, let me grab my cards because I need to be able to have the 1, 2, 3, 4. I need the ability to defend myself. Ouch. Okay. So I will use Brace myself. Or I guess technically I wouldn't, I'm not playing any cards, so this is just what I have. So they're going to attack me for 2 damage. Bringing me down to 13. I guess for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to keep track of health during combat on here, and then when we're finished, I'll update it, so that way I'm not jumping back and forth and kind of keeping some momentum going. Okay, so it's my turn. So now I have some options here. Not very good ones. I'm going to use Arcane Power and mark the North Scout. There's 2 of them, so just one of them is going to be automatically targeted. Oh, wait. I don't want to use that one yet. Oh, wait. Maybe I do. Okay. I'm going to use Arcane Power to ignore defense. Oh, wait, I had a +1 defense. Temporary. That's going to give me a 14 health then. Just that way I'm doing good there. So 3 damage, ignoring a shield, since they have 1 defense point brought down to 0 because I'm ignoring their defense. That means I deal my full 3, so I kill 1 of them. And so that was 2, 3 fury points. I'm going to play Bloodless to gain 1 extra FP, fury point. If I were below my health, I would draw a card, but I don't have, I have way more than half my health. But that gives me an extra fury point to play my other 2 cards. So I'm going to use Recovery, which allows me to recover 2 health. And then Brace Yourself, which gives me gain defense +1. And then if I block, I heal. Well, if I block all the damage, which I likely will if they do a basic damage. So that heals me, putting me back up to full. I guess I don't really need the heal, that extra 1 point of healing. But the plus defense means that they won't kill me if they do a basic. What's its? Oh wait, no, this is the next round. So these all get discarded. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got Dirk, Battle Cry, Momentum, and Counter. Some decent combat options. I got the Triquetra, and they got the Triskelion. I think Triskelion is higher up in the... Yep, it's the highest. So they go first again. So I got to shuffle the fate cards to see how this Norseman activates. The Wheel of Taramis, which does Furious Attack, dealing 2 damage. I block 1, and they deal 1 damage, bringing me to 15 health. 15. 1 more shuffle, and then a cut. Excuse me. Okay. So Norseman with 1 defense, 3 health. Okay, so let's do Momentum, which costs 1 fury point, bringing me down 3, I get to draw 1 card, and if it is an attack, I get to play it immediately for 0 fury points. It's a 0 cost punch. I can deal 1 damage or reduce target's defense by 1. So I'm going to reduce by 1. So he's got no defense, and I can hit him for full damage. So then my next thing is to play Battle Cry, Alvagugbra! I gain 1 strength on my next attack, and I will use my Father's Dirk to deal 2 damage, and I can technically draw a card, but that's 2 plus 1 from the strength, dealing 3 damage. They got 0 defense now, so they take the full hit, and they are dead. Alrighty. Now, when you defeat an enemy in combat, you get a couple of rewards. Sometimes the game will tell you what those rewards are. And in addition, they also have these hero points here. You gain that value for each enemy that you defeat. So I defeated 2 Norse scouts, which will give me 2 hero points. Now, there's no victory for this one. This was kind of supposed to be a straightforward. You aren't supposed to lose on this one, although it may be possible if you don't play it correctly. Where do you go? Once they are defeated, you can decide where to go next. You have enough time to visit 2 locations. All right, chat. We can either go north, smoke is rising from a tower. West, you can hear screams coming from a warehouse. Uh-oh. Is that like a werewolf, but a house? Or we can go south, because, good lord, somebody started a barbecue inside their house. What we feeling, guys? We going north to a tower, west to a warehouse, or south to a house? Toke it up. I don't know if that means the house or the tower, because they're both on fire. Tower. Alrighty. You reach a lookout tower. This must have been where the initial attack occurred, preventing whoever was inside from sounding the alarm and warning the nearby villages. Inside, you see the wounded lookout attempting to ward off 2 scouts. Save! Avoid a fatal blow to the lookout. So, 1 automatic. Make a courage save. I only have 1 point, so that's 2 cards total. I don't remember which one is which. It's already smoking. And an L, which is not. Oh my gosh, here we go. A1 is courage. Courage! I did it. Alright, success. You block the incoming attack, and the lookout survives. Look to the heavens! They have returned! He screams, rushing out of the tower. Gain +1 fury during the first round of combat. The 2 scouts engage you in combat. More Norse scouts. Since I got my fate deck ready. I got Wheel of Taramis versus the Daranot. If I remember, Wheel of Taramis is 2 and Daranot's like 5, something like that. We're good. All right. So I start with 5 Fury points, which means I draw 5 Fury cards. Or 5 battle cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dash, momentum, brace yourself, dirk, punch. Good little bit of offensive. So let's see. Let's play momentum for 1. Draw a card. If it's an attack, play it immediately for 0 FP. It is an attack. Cool. So I can play counter. So it's a 0 for now. If I'm hit this round, deal 2 damage back to the attacker. If no enemies deal damage to you this round, remove 1 strain. So keep that there. That's technically discarded. So I've only spent 1 Fury point, so I have 4 more. I'm going to put Punch next to reduce one of my guys' defense to 0. And then I'm going to play, so that's 2 Fury points, which is 3, which will kill one of the scouts. So I've only got 1 of them left to deal with. I'm going to play Dirk, which does 2 damage. The other guy's got 1 defense, so he's only going to take 1 damage. But I will get to draw an extra card. Oh, I forgot to have Brood. Brood gives you +1 strength when you have enough. So that's 3 points that I've spent. I'm just going to play Brace Yourself. And won't even bother with my other cards yet. Okay. So now we check to see Daranot, which is Berserker, dealing 3 damage. Perfect. Because that would have been a little painful. Okay. So plus 1 demon or 1 damage reduces his 3 to 2. That's gonna be 13 damage. Or 13 health is what I have left. And then if I were hit this round, deal 2 damage back to the attacker. He's got 1 defense, that's only 1 damage that it does. So he's got 1 health left. All right, I'm back down to 4 Fury points, so I can only draw up to 4. All right, there literally is not much I can do here. So this is the start of a fresh round. Initiative. Triskelion versus the Triquetra. Triskellion's top, it's number 1. So that's an automatic. I go first. I sadly cannot do much with this hand. So I'm just going to play Dash and Second Wind. So I'm going to avoid 1 attack this round. If successful, immediately gain or recover 1 health and gain 1 strain. And then second wind, recover 2 health, and if damaged this round, remove 1 strain. So my health goes back up to 15. And then let's see. They got a Triquetra, which is not any other symbols, so they do a basic damage. Okay. If damaged this round, remove 1 strain. So I avoided 1 attack. So I gained a strain. That's okay. Okay. Next round, draw up to 4. Man, none of these are compatible. I literally cannot, I have no options to attack, so I have to like throw a card away. I'm just going to use Battle Cry, because it's not going to do much of anything. And Bloodlust. They both do the same thing. They gave me +1 FP, but I can't really use it for anything. I'm just tossing cards. Okay. Wait, did I don't even remember whose goes. But anyways, I drew Wheel of Toramus. They do a Furious attack, dealing 2 damage, bringing me down to 13. Draw 1, and now I need to shuffle, taking that out. Okay, doing a cut. Draw 1 more. Rage and Bloodlust. I just got rid of this card. Both of these. Well, let's use these and heal. Really can't do. Oh wait, that's right. I need to draw for initiative. That's what I need to do. Okay, so that's 1 and that's 3. So I go first. I can't really do much of anything. I'm literally just playing these cards that I just got rid of. Recovery to recover 2 health and gain an FP immediately. Just so I can get rid of stuff and then heal back up to 15. Okay. I get A1, which deals nothing except basic attack. Get me down to 14. Okay. Next turn. Come on, some combat cards, please. I'm literally on the defensive. I don't like this. I want more. I want to like, you know? Okay. I guess it's time for an initiative. Gosh, I don't want to do that again. They go first. Okay. Furious attack. That's 2 damage. Okay. Defensive maneuvers. Just gonna play these just to get rid of them. Okay. Next round, draw up. This gets discarded. Initiative for me is bad, worse than them, so they go next. Oh. Three damage. Okay. I'm at 10 health, and they're still at 1 health. It sucks that they are only 1 health away from dying, and I can't even get a single attack. Battle cry and dirt. Oh my gosh, exactly what I needed. Alright, well I'm gonna scream at him and then stab him. And so what that combo does, I deal 2 damage, and then I deal 1 extra damage. That's 3 damage, bypasses his shield, and deals 2 damage to him, killing him. Yay! Oh my goodness. This basic deck has too many defensive options. I need to shuffle. Okay. Oh wait, I gotta do. So 2 hero points, bringing me up to 8. Oh wait, I got 2, 4, 6, 8. No, I'm more than that. I'm at 10. Okay, so we finished the smoke, the north tower. Next up, we can either go west or south. Shuffle this for a little bit. We go south. Okay, south of the village, you will reach a house engulfed in flames. A family inside is pleading for help. We gotta rescue the family in the burning house. Oh my goodness. Who left their ninja air fryer on too long? Alright, make a strength save. Wheel of Taramas. So I got 2 strength. So that's a 1 and a 2. Yes, I got the Wheel of Taramas. So yes, we got this. We got this. So we saved them. I kicked down the blocked door, allowing the family to escape. Gain 2 hero points. Okay. This is my second location, so go from the heavens. You return to the harbor and meet the village steward. He gestures towards the sea, where 2 more raider ships are approaching, one closer than the other. The men aboard are screaming at the top of their lungs, their murderous eyes fixed on the village. There are enough of them to overrun and destroy the village. A loud, Guttural sound shrieks from the sky. From the clouds, a monstrous winged beast appears. It lands on a small cliff overlooking the village. Its ancient eyes scan the town and the approaching ships. The Norse raiders aim at the creature. Suddenly, it descends from the sky and unleashes its magical flame on one of the ships, searing and charring everyone on board. Their screams of agony echo across the bay as they perish. The other ship turns around and the raiders retreat to their oars, rowing furiously to escape. The commander, a massive man with a horned helmet, locks eyes with you before disappearing into the mist. The villagers stand in awe, expecting to be the beast's next victim. But the creature nosedives towards the village, then turns upwards at the last moment and soars into the cloud. We must draw a fate card. Here we go. So every now and again, there are some story events where you draw a fate card. A majority of them are like hex based. So you go into hex and they'll tell you, here's a table to draw. But there's a few of these, and I kind of like that. So we got A1. Gain one sorrow as your mortal mind struggles to process what it saw. Sorry, my pea brain just couldn't handle the fact that I saw guys got burned on a freaking ship. Tyrannus has blessed us, says the village steward. His gaze shifts to you. You and the Wyvern have protected us from the raider. Who are you? Well, I am Strinserline. I have questions for him. What are the Norse raiders? We've seen their raids become more frequent every year. Families are torn apart. Loved ones are taken captive. And they steal our produce. What about the Wyverns? You have any seen any Wyverns around here? Any little flappy flap little lizard thingies? They are ancient creatures that attack villages and travelers, leaving a bloody trail in their wake, as the ancient scholars wrote in their chronicles. These serpents of the sky appear at both the beginning and the end of time. Which one is it for us? The Order of the Skyfire knew more about the Wyverns than we do. Oh, wait. What's the Order of the Skyfire? The Abandoned Order was once the savior of the Highlands, bringing us from the threat of the Wyverns. They have a stronghold deep in the Highlands, near the Ben Nevis mountain range. If Crag Keep still holds, it may hold what little hope we have left. The Order knew more about the Wyverns than anyone alive today. Well, can you tell me what the current state of the Highlands is? It is said that Storm, a powerful magical wellspring, has unleashed its power upon the Highlands. Beasts, witches, and others who seek to tap into its power are out in force. Some say it is the end of time. Before you leave, the steward has one last thing to say. The Overworld Highlands are no longer the lands you once knew. They are filled with danger, from monsters and chaotic magic. Take one of our most prized steeds to aid you in your travels. He gives you a garrow, a small horse, bred for the rugged terrains of the Highland. Its coat is bay, with reddish hair and black markings on its mane, tail, and legs. It's a beautiful creature. What shall you name it? The steward asks. Alrighty, chat. We calling our pony Luaf, which stands for speed, Nirt, which is strength, or Teon, which is stubborn. Sweet! So what are we feeling? We feeling speed, strength, or stubborn? Ba-ba-ba. I don't know, knowing me, I'm a stubborn person. So I'd probably go with Taeyeon. How does that feel? How does that sound? Taeyeon for stubborn. Okay. 2. Nayart, strength. All right. We'll go with that. Because my pony gives me strength. He's got to be strong enough to carry all this badassness, you know? Okay. Write your steed's name on your character sheet, and we gain these rewards. 5 hero points for helping the port, which puts me to a whopping total of 15. 5 rations, setting me up to 8. Rations are important because you can use them to bribe in the... Oh, I made like an S, even though I was trying to make like an 8. Those are really cool looking S's, like one of the, like with the, you know, the old diamond S, but not quite like that. It was just something, the way I did it kind of reminded me of it. Anyways, rations. Yeah, you use them to eat every night. You need to eat 1 or you gain strain. And you don't want to be strained out because, yeah, that's pretty bad. We also gained the Highlander armor, so let's put that on. Highlander armor. I wonder if there can only be 1. Okay. Highlander armor. Oh, I can't even wear it because I don't have enough courage. Although I guess I could upgrade my courage here in a bit. Okay. And then what else did I gain? Oh, I gained quick draw. Why? Quick draw gets added to my stat. And I gotta make sure on my unlocks. Guess I will put that. These are all the basic cards. I'm just gonna go ahead and fill those in quickly because I haven't touched this sheet since starting the stream. And then I gained quick draw. And then is there, okay, Trusted Sword. And then Highlander armor. Okay. And I think there was one more. No, maybe not. Remove any strain. Okay. My health goes back to 16. Okay. Oh, what happened? See, it clicked on the card and let me see it there, so I don't understand why it didn't let me look at them earlier. You have been sent on your way to rediscover your homeland. The Umbral Highlands await. Travel to different destinations, battle creatures, raiders, and the invading forces from neighboring realms. It is time to delve into your past and discover who you are. Witness the wrath of the Wyverns, then hunt them down before they destroy your homeland. You pause as you saddle your new steed, Nayart. A vision takes hold of your mind and has a tight grip on your senses. You see a fortress high in the mountains. The silhouette of a lone man stands alone on the battlements. He holds a fiery torch in one hand and a glowing purple blade in the other. A magical storm approaches behind him. You have a choice. Suddenly, you are brought back to reality. Was that a memory or a vision of a future event? Whatever it has left a deep imprint on your mind. And I put these in here, but it's not really a choice you have to make, but you can either travel west to find Crag Keep and begin rebuilding your ancestors' order, or ignore it for the time being and travel to any adjacent hex, use your movement points, and take actions. Either way, the Wheel of Fates have been set in motion, and so it begins. So the goal of the game is truly, that is the first goal, is to find Cragkeep, get that set up, and then you start upgrading and preparing yourself to battle the Wyverns, and you gain different allies that help you in battle and all these other things. But in all honesty, this is a pretty open world hex crawl game. I mean, the map's fairly big. I can't really show you the full map because I want to kind of keep it hidden. It's kind of nice to have it that way. But now I can mark on my quest tracker the arrival. 1. So active and completed. And rewards. Quick draw. And now we can start exploring. I'm going to go ahead and explore and do the first set of actions. We camped for the night since we finished that first mission. I'm going to, for solidarity's sake, go ahead and eat the ration. I'm pretty sure you probably aren't required to. I'm going to go ahead and just for solidarity's sake, eat the ration since I did stay there and do the battles. Or I guess technically I can move and I'll just count it then. Alright, so I have movement of 3. So I can move up to 3 hexes. Now, I set this game in a way where I can only see 1 hex away. I feel that works the best. There is a fog of war, so as I explore, I'll be able to see what I've left behind. But I did it this way to kind of make it a little fun and, make it feel like a true open world MMORPG or something, where it's like all brand new and you're exploring it for the first time. So, let's move our character. Oh, wait, why is it doing that? Again? There we go. So that's 1 hex. And 2 hex. Why are we not moving? What is going on? There we go. It's lagging so hard. Okay. So now we moved. And now we're at this little narrative. Narrative 2, the Raven's Sight. Alright. On day 1, you enter one of the many forests of the Highland. The further you venture into the heart of nature, the more time seems to slow down. Before you, a single raven sits on an old stone. It watches you when blinking. As you approach, it caws 3 times. The sounds of the wind and forest have disappeared. All that remains are the 2 of you. The raven is the voice of the Phantom Queen herself, the Morrigan. Alrighty, let's temporarily put a pause to this real quick, because now we've entered Morrigan's domain. Alright, loudness alert, because I'm afraid this is about to get loud again while it's lagging and I change the settings. Okay. The Raven is the voice of the Phantom Queen herself, the Morrigan. Violence and ruin find you easily, Highland. I offer you a simple riddle. If you can solve it, I will grant you my sight in battle. Do you accept? Oh, I put these so backwards. I am so sorry, guys. We're gonna, I know it says no and yes, but those were backwards. Yes, we're going to accept the riddle. The raven opens its beak, and the words of the Morgan emerge. One lies before every human. They step on it, yet never see it. They feel its presence, but never grasp it. It shapes their life from birth to death. What am I? Alrighty, so I don't have a wisdom. I don't have the wisdom. But I do have a save. So we'll see how that goes. That's the Wheel of Taramas. So that's a no. That's a negatron. So we use our save token. And that's the Tripreta. So, nope. Not able to at all. Sad. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't even have the wisdom card in there. I just saw it out on the side. Shoot. Let me redraw because that was not fair. Let's try that again. Aha! Got it. Okay. Solve the riddle. Success. You whisper the answer. Destiny. The raven croaks. Oh! We did gain a save token, but you're only allowed to have one at a time. So I'm just going to have to ignore that I got it. So go to Foretold. Sorry, just sending a message to somebody that is heading to bed. Okay, so Foretold. The raven lands on your shoulder and peers into your eyes. You see battles past and those yet to be fought. Its beak parts and it says, "Know this, Highland. Your journey has been carved into the stars. But you can change it. Look beyond your eyes and see what lies ahead." A rune is seared into your mind. It is the blessing of Morrigan. Gain Morrigan's sight card. The raven lifts its wing and takes flight. It vanishes among the stormy clouds. Within your mind's eye, you still see the raven. A voice echoes in your mind. Remember, sight is a curse and a blessing. Alrighty. I will be calling it a night fairly soon, since we are almost wrapped up with this quest. I'm just going to record everything and then call it. So again, Morrigan's Sight, which allows me to peek at the next fate card. So that's actually really handy. Okay, so then we did Hex 2, which is called Raven's Sight. Okay. And then we gained 3 hero points, putting us at 18, which is pretty helpful. finish that. And now... Where's my mouse? Oh, there we go. All right. It's kind of hard to see with the token in the way, but I am sitting on a lowlands. So I'm in a lowland hex. I'm gonna have to pull up. Hex actions. I think I saved it. Haha. The lowlands are a place where nature thrives. Water springs flow across expansive meadows and fields. It is where crops are cultivated, and it is the habitat of tame wildlife. However, with the rise of the storm, more threats loom over this peaceful landscape. So now, this is the way that the game allows you to camp and prepare for your adventures and such. So when I started, I was on that first hex and then moved 2 spaces, using 2 out of 3 of my movement points. So I have 1 more point left. And so if you see here, there's a couple things that we can do. So sadly, I used more MP, or I used 2 out of 3, so I've only got 1. So I can't use these 2 options. So I can either stick with any of these or just camp. So let's see, I can locate a nearby water for rations. Or I can forage for food, which might get me more rations. Or I deal with combat. I'd rather not, because I'm kind of ready to go to bed, so I'm going to take it easy. Spend 2 rations or 2 hero points to gain 1 special consumable. Honestly, I'm going to stick with the nice and easy and simple. Gather fresh water to gain 1 ration. So, where's my rations at? Putting me back up to 8. And now we can camp and perform camp actions. And then... some of these things up and ready. The Wyvern, and then I need, what am I needing? Camp actions. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so I can do 2 actions, and I can use rations for this or that. I'm pretty full heal, so... All right. I'm going to use meditation as one of my actions. I'm going to use 10 hero points, bringing my total from 18 down to 8 to add me a wisdom, because I feel like that'll help out having at least 1 wisdom. It costs 10 points to increase your attributes, and 20 to level up your Wyvern hunting level, which gives you some newer abilities. But the problem with Wyvern hunting level is the more you level up your Wyvern hunting level, the harder the game gets. So that's one thing to keep in mind. I can level up 2 times before the game jumps up in difficulty. So I'd rather just level up my attributes, because those kind of help me with a few other things. So that was one action, and then I will use the other, the stargazing, to remove one brood, bring me down to one brood, one sorrow. And my current hex is at 2. All right. So now let's update the character sheet. So let's get rid of the defense. Crap, that's right. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's... All right, just going through and updating everything. I mean, I guess I'm going to go ahead and call it a night, at least as far as the stream and the like recording process goes, just that way I don't take up more time and data. All this is all BS stuff anyways. But yeah, that was my first stream of Wrath of the Wyvern, Sons of Rivesk. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned. I don't quite have a schedule for this. This honestly was a very last minute thing. I really was trying to get this running Thursday. I think that's going to be my dedicated stream day. But at least for now, this is kind of good to get this up and rolling and at least demonstrate the game, get a feel for it, and streaming. So hope you all have a good night. Bye.